I vaguely remember the Australian independent progressive political activist group Getup being somewhat moderate, but perhaps I'm misremembering. For example, they launched a campaign urging supermarkets, such as Woolworths, to stop profiting from poker machines, which caused significant harm to society, including within my own family and circle of friends. I remember the ABC reporting about it at the time. Getup loses bid to force Woolies' pokies vote, noting that Woolworths was the largest owner of poker machines in Australia at the time, although to be fair to Woolworths, they did divest from the pokies in 2019. Getup also ran a campaign against internet censorship, which I think many of us could get behind no matter what side of politics we're on, although the ABC published a piece, "Everyone loves it until they advocate censorship," where they seem to be quite dismissive of Getup. 2 days later, Getup, the useful idiots of Australian politics. Another example, Abetz unmasks Getup, where they write, "And the dust is not settling well on this so-called independent activist site Getup." I guess implying that Getup aren't particularly independent like they claim. The ABC seemed to be happy to call out activist groups back then. 13 years ago, Getup ran a campaign urging the Australian government to allocate more funding towards mental health. Again, a fairly moderate proposal, I would suggest. But fast forward a decade, and what has Getup become? On paper, they seem to be okay. People, power, impact. Join over 1 million Getup members fighting for a fair, flourishing and just Australia. But when you dig deeper, things seem to go a bit awry. For example, this popped up on my Facebook feed. This is from 2021, mind you. A new Getup petition is calling for Kmart Australia to stop separating children's clothing by gender. Why? How does that benefit society? Do we really need pink bras being placed in the same section as boys' underpants? What purpose does it serve? Thankfully, in the 4 years since its inception, this campaign has only received 1,265 signatures, a far cry from the campaigns of old that attracted hundreds of thousands of supporters. Why is this important? Young children are told which colours, clothing styles and even interests they are permitted to have through the choices they have available in their respective gender's clothing department. Enough. Get rid of the gender-separated clothing sections and let kids choose exactly what they like without arbitrary boundaries. So if my 9-year-old son wants to wear a pink bra as a top, I should let him? Fuck off. Other campaigns on their website include Stop Dutton's Dangerous Nuclear Agenda. They created something called Colour Code, Race Politics and Identity. Race politics? That doesn't sound very progressive. That sounds rather backwards if you ask me. We've created a platform for First Nations, migrant and multicultural communities. So basically everyone except the white people. They even have a campaign to save our ABC. I'm not sure what they're trying to save it from. The ABC still receives over $1 billion in funding every year. On their values page, they talk about fairness with a picture of a protester holding a sign, "Always was, always will be Aboriginal land." Obviously a very divisive slogan that seems to indicate that most Australians don't have any rights to this land, even though we were born here and raised here, never stole any land from anybody, and the slogan completely doesn't align with the current legal framework of land ownership in Australia. They talk about flourishing, specifically about climate change and renewable energy, and they talk about justice for asylum seekers and support for temporary visa holders. Kaz, she, her. Kaz is our lead organiser with roots in the Philippines. Her organising approach is grounded in decolonisation, intersectional, heart-centred leadership. Earlier I asked, what have Getup become? I think I know the answer. They've become the Greens. They've essentially become extremists who want everyone to be separated into their various identity groups and for boys to have the freedom to wear girls' clothing at Kmart.